Okay, here we are at Oluwalu on December 10th, and I want to point out, while you see that we are trying to spread some knowledge and awareness of what's going on here, we are in no way trying to slow down the process of containing the material in Lahaina. We have been screaming for months that they should take the trouble spots, stick it in containers, contain it, and get it out of the elements, but the information that's not accurate that's coming out is that if they bring it to this site, it's in a less volatile area. It has less of a chance of affecting our community. This is just not true. We're going to put it in a place, mix it with water, then dump it over into a reservoir, and then drain that straight into permeable soil. We've been asking for a protocol for months. We've been asking for a diagram of this facility for months, and all they're doing is showing us a fictitious diagram of a permanent facility that was never built. So as we go through it, we're going to bring you up a couple days later than this. We're going to go to the next photo here. You can see that on the 10th, it rained enough where it came just shy of overflowing the other reservoir. It was pretty close, and you can see where the water level was at. And so with that, it filled into the lower reservoir. We estimate at least 300,000 gallons of water. So that was on the 10th. Since then, it has rained again. But before it rained again, they were already starting to pump it. Before the rain filled it again, which is up to date with now. This is after the 10th. I think this is on the 11th or the 12th. They're pumping the water out of the reservoir now. And as you can see, they're pumping it straight into the ground over here. There is no protocol in place for what's happening to this water. Now let's fast forward again to, this is the 16th, which is yesterday. And there was no more than an inch and a half of rain in our area locally to this spot. People are using the excuse and saying the brown water outside of Lahaina came from this area. No, that came from up in the mountains. There was a little bit of rain in Lahaina, but no more than 2 inches for sure on the rain gauges. It actually looks less than an inch and a half. And in this area, definitely less than an inch and a half. So let's see what happened. They've been draining for 24 hours on this. They're draining it to a spot on the bottom down here where it's just soaking right into the groundwater. My lot next door, an inch of rain leaves a puddle for 4 days. It will show you just how porous this material is. So here we are today. So it rained last night. It rained, like I say, maybe an inch of rain or so. But then what happened was they had these two pumps on right here overnight, and they were draining water. And those are some pretty big pumps. So they pulled a lot of that water out as it was filling. Again, you can see how close it came to over here, what level it came up to with just a couple inches of rain. You can also see here in the background that they were trying to dam it to slow the water down so that it could be ejected fast enough by the smaller pipe. So there's some weird things going on in here. You can see spots where they're driving all over the liner, and it's very likely compromised in spots where you see their tire tracks. You're not really allowed to drive on this liner, especially on wet, non-compactable cinder. So let's move a little bit further ahead, and let's go back to what's happening right here. If you see this reservoir, now they drained however many hundreds of thousands of gallons were in there, and look at the amount of mud that it left in there. It left at least 1/8 of displacement of mud. So what does that make our amount of catchment that it has available? It went from a 1,000,000-gallon reservoir to perhaps an 800,000-gallon reservoir now. So now we have less capacity. What's their protocol for all this mud on the bottom? How are they going to get that out? And when they put the toxic material in, all of this mud is going to be ash, toxic ash. And let's look at what's happening now. So their pumps have broke. They're still trying to pump it out on the bottom, but they're not even checking that their hoses are all clogged up with sediment, and it's actually just falling out and permeating right into the ground above where their retaining wall is. This is just bad business all the way around. They're weighing the trucks on the weigh stations right now, and they're about ready to bring all this material starting as early as tomorrow morning. So something needs to happen. Somebody needs to get some investigators here to look at this. They are not prepared to start handling material. There is no protocol for the leachate. This is disastrous.